Noah Igbenogany! Wow. What a win for your Miami Dolphins. Holy shit. It was a sloppy game. It was an ugly game. I am Kai Chen Chisholm. I have my name is Ugly Win. Joining me is Nando, aka at Sports5305. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio. Two Eyes and Samurai. We'll get to everything else. I just want to quickly do this just so that we get this through. I'm going to throw it to you, Nando, because I like your reads on this. What can you say about our wonderful sponsor?
Oh, man, putting me on the spot. Listen, first of all, insurance does not have to be complicated at all. A primary sponsor of the Basement Sports Network is Simple Health Advisors, so please email them or give them a call today. Email my guy at jpew at simplehealthadvisors.com or give him all right, listen, my bad. My guy, jpo at simplehealthadvisors.com or give him a phone call at 321-345-7738. jpo, I got it. Listen, from now on, I'm gonna get my man's name right. But hey,
yeah, it is what it is. Joining us below me is Juan Cardona, Jonathan Cardona, Mr. Noah Igbenogany Cardona, and then below Nando is Alex. We will get to everything, but first, we'll get to it. It's an ugly win. I mentioned at the start. Juan, solo cam. How do you feel?
I feel vindicated. I feel like a proud dad. Like a proud just witnessed her cub leave the shelter and for the first time venture out and just be great. Truly, I don't think I would ever be here without the support of my family. Honestly, like this is just, it's not even my night, it's his night, but it's my night. So it's like all of our nights. So truly, Noah, I the last 2 weeks, like on some all real shit seriousness, you have faced adversity and you've overcome it, from just being picked on and being pick a bitch, like I like to say, and it happened all game, and you battled back all game, and lo and behold, you got a pick at the end, and damn, bro, like good for you, bro, good for you.
In the fan chat, Reed put up in their media type response from Juan. Absolutely is a media type response from you. I thought you were going to get ready to go crazy. Someone who I think will go crazy, even though it was an ugly win, the homer himself. Alex, your thoughts on today's game?
Yo, Jesus blessed us today, boys. Jesus blessed us today. That's, bro, for that game to end like that is very fitting with Brian Flores in the audience tonight because he wasn't on the field. He was in the booth tonight. But man, me and Kai, we were talking about this on Twitter. A win is a win, bro. On primetime, the Dolphins are historically not that team on primetime. I have so many bad memories of it. Ravens 40-point loss, all the other nonsense. I'm just happy to get the win. Is there stuff that needs to be fixed? Absolutely. But there's no way you cannot be happy with just a win right now. There's no way. Especially the way the offense played. Like, after all the question marks we had about the defense, they balled the hell out today, finally got some turnovers. Noah, hey, played terrible all game and they made the play of the game. That's all that matters, man. So that we got to win. I'll take it. Let's win the next 4. But, like, man, to have a win on primetime just feels so good. I have so many bad memories from primetime games. So
I feel terrible, but sure.
This looked like it was going to be another one. Canadian wonder and known Raptors fan, 416J joining us as well there in the bottom left, and can't be remiss without also noting that Threat has joined us. I think this is the first time that me and Threat have been on the same stream since our old days in 5RSN, so it's good to be back. It is an ugly win. It's a horrendous win, in my opinion, but I think walking away with a win from this game after the rust and everything else like that has happened with the team, obviously some offensive situations. I don't know if we'll be, I guess, realistic today on the stream, or I don't know if we'll be full-blown, how we all are in general. So we'll see how that one goes. I want to throw it to you quickly here, Threat. Just overall, talking about the defense, talking about how they played, and just the game in general on that side of the ball. How do you feel?
I don't understand this team. I don't get it. When I say this defense is ass, they play fucking out of control, fucking superb. They get the stops that they need. When I start to say this offense is good, then this offense goes to absolute shit. We can't do anything right. Nothing makes sense, bro. I'm trying to make shit make sense with this team, and nothing makes sense, bro. Like, we've won in so many fucking different ways that it's just unreal. We just get it out the mud however we see fit, bro. We can't, it's like there's nothing that we can really rely on, bro. But somehow, some way, we just figure it out. And that's just what happened tonight, bro. Like, the offense wasn't clicking. It felt like the defense was just doing a whole lot of bending and not breaking, and then boom, back-to-back turnovers late in the game when we needed it most, bro. Boyer, I slandered him. I slandered him all throughout the game. I can't slander him tonight, dog. I think this win is really on the backs of the defense, bro. They came and saved McDaniel and Tua tonight.
Yeah, they really did. And Kendall joining us below me now as well. Before we get to, actually no, fuck the Raptors. I'm not going to you, Canada. Kendall, I know that you're I don't know how to really play some things with you, Kendall, because sometimes you're a homer, sometimes you're not a homer, sometimes the real Kendall comes out just like Juan. Your thoughts on the defense tonight? Because I know you and Threat both have wanted to pack Boyer up in a bag and send his ass packing.
They were good. I mean, they were good enough given the circumstances. I can say that much. I mean, yo, like, everybody dropping out like flies out there, and I don't know what's going on with our like strength and conditioning team, but that shit is crazy, bro. Like, the way everybody, and it's all from like one unit too. So it's like, I feel like the Ravens of last year at this point, with the injuries in one specific area. But they was good. I will say I feel like that was the best game I've ever seen Jaylen Phillips play. Like, he was a standout, like, of everybody on the defense. And then it was just like the young guys, like young people that we've been waiting for. Harlan with the pick, that was big. But like, Jaylen Phillips was the guy for me. And they were just timely, like Jerome Baker making that fucking catch. I'm gonna get to that, man. I gotta show him some love. Jerome Baker making that tackle on Najee on like a 3rd and 2 when he had his ankle. Dog, I was like, all right, he finna slip out of shit. I thought he was gonna.
I thought there was no chance. I thought it was a first.
You
down.
feel me? It's like, what the fuck? And then, I mean, the Flores pick of the year, of the century. I'm gonna be real, like, like the best pick from the Laramie and Tunsil deal. Like, Noah Igbenogany. Like, shout out to that boy Juan, nasty ass, for getting his shit off, man. I think Noah played really good. I'm not gonna hold you, cause like, for someone who could have got torched, yeah, that's disrespectful.
In my Noah jersey,
but I would allow that. I would say he probably the 3rd best cornerback in Dolphins history at this point.
Something to note really quick. The football communications person for the Dolphins, Brett, I don't know how to say his last name, but he made a statistical tweet just now, and today was the 500th win in Miami Dolphins history, including the playoffs. They're only the 7th franchise to do that. And it's the 7th franchise to do that since 1966. So the 7th franchise, that was the year the team was founded. So 50 wins, or 50 years celebrating undefeated, 500 wins total as a franchise. And it's, of course, I feel like it's just poetic justice that it's Noah Igbenogany, a Brian Flores pick, a Brian Flores guy winning the game for the Dolphins. It's hilarious to me. But Captain Canada, I want to ask you about the offense. How do you feel after 3 weeks of rust, concussion, 2 concussions, whatever the situation? How do you feel that Tua himself played tonight?
Well, that's what it was, right? I thought it was a lot of rust, a lot of forcing the ball to Tyreek Hill when he didn't really have to. I thought there was a lot of times where you saw throws where it's like, okay, this guy makes these throws in his sleep, but clearly something's up. There was a high throw to Waddle where it's like, you just put that in front of him, that might be 6, and that's a throw he makes in his sleep. So that was really unfortunate to see, because after that first drive, I thought, wow, like, for a guy coming off of 3 games missed and dealing with the injuries he was dealing with, not just the concussion, but the back, the ankle, all the stuff he was dealing with, you thought, wow, okay, he really came to play. Basically perfect on that first drive. His only incompletion was a drop from Mike Gesicki, which hit him in the face. But other than that, like, after that drive, the play calling and Tua became very, very inconsistent, whether it was pushing the ball down the field, whether it was finding guys short. He was very inconsistent with ball placement. He was very inconsistent with just finding guys. I honestly, like, and this, I think, plays in part of why Tua played the way he did. I'll be honest. I think this was Mike McDaniel's worst game as a head coach. I think it's very easily his worst game as a head coach. So that was really unfortunate to see. And I think it affected Tua. And I also just think Tua played poorly on his own. He made bad decisions. There was times where he had guys open and he, again, just forced the ball to Tyreek Hill. And there was just times where it's like, what are you looking at kind of thing, where clearly there's either rust or something at play there, because we've seen him do these things before and it's been fine. So it's just one of those things where you have to assume and you have to kind of hope that it was the rust and stuff kind of playing in part, because it was in below average game for sure. Like 4 drop picks, that happens to everyone, but they still happened. And then like our offense just didn't move the ball. I know we ran the ball actually pretty well with Raheem Mostert. Chase Edmonds, I don't know why he was getting touches after that drop catch, but we moved the ball on the ground a little bit. And then once the rain started again, after that first drive, the offense became very inconsistent, and that starts with Tua. So to me, my answer would just be inconsistent. After that first drive, just terribly inconsistent, because I don't remember if it was the second or third drive where we could have put up another touchdown, but again, the ball placement was off. And that's something that you never see with Tua Tagovailoa, with the ball placement, with that Waddle throw and with that Tyreek Hill throw. So that's unfortunate to see. So honestly, I just say his game was inconsistent, and hopefully after getting this game kind of off and finally getting back into things and getting the rust back, hopefully next week we'll see him back to normal Tua, because today that was definitely not it.
Yeah, I want to ask quickly, Nando, about, and this will be just an open floor question as well, in case anybody wants to get in on it, and I'm sure that a bunch of people want to get in on it. The play calling tonight, it was just, I feel like it was not great. After those first scripted plays, it felt like we were about to run the table. Team should have been up 21-zip. Everything should have gone absolutely fantastic. And then it just starts to teeter off. I think that there is a lot of, there were drops, there was miscommunication, there were throws that you feel like Tua would have made in his sleep in the first few weeks, to Tyreek, to Waddle, even to Mike, even though Mike wasn't targeted as much in the first few games of the year, that just weren't on there. How do you feel about the play calling today, Nando?
Quite frankly, I didn't really like it, man. I wasn't comfortable with, like Jay said, I think this was probably Mike McDaniel's worst game out of the ones. Well, at least out of the wins for sure. I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't like the play calls at all. The miscommunications. I mean, how many times did we ended up having to burn timeouts here and there? Tua burned, I think, 2 of them, having to talk things over with coach. Like you don't normally want to see that. And it's crazy because in the beginning of the game, I mean, when Tua was out there slinging and firing, it's like, oh damn, we back. Like we about to smoke these dudes. And you just saw like a drop off happen like after that, and it was just hard to get some momentum going. And also Jaylen Waddle, I thought Jaylen Waddle did really good. I mean, he caught his first 4 targets, and then I'm like, where has he been since then? I felt like he didn't get a touch for a long ass time, and just play calling in general, man. I think, I don't know if it's, Tua's been out for some time. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe somebody else can give me a better reason, but I wasn't too fond of the play calling tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of that either. Does anyone want to jump in on that?
I want to add something, like in terms of like what we seen. Like I'm hearing a lot of like, Tua makes these throws in his sleep. I mean, if we beeping it a bean, like this is kind of who he's been like so far, like in his career. Like he just has these like small lapses where it's just like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? And then on the play calling, bro, I swear it felt like we was watching the 2021 Dolphins, bro. Like if we gonna keep, like the scripted plays, the early plays cooked. They took away the middle of the field, and it was just like, what are we doing? And I'm just kind of surprised because it's like you got those 2 burners, and it's like, where are the screens? Like, where are the pop passes? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like the kind of the simple stuff is like wasn't there. Like once they took the middle of the field away.
2 runs on 3rd and 3 and 4th and 3 to Chase Edmonds of all people is
they were the same
ridiculous.
runs too. I'm sure everyone noticed those were pretty much the exact same play calls. It just,
yeah.
I don't
you take the points, or you put the ball into his hands, or if you're gonna run, give Raheem Mostert the ball, which by the way is the worst option, is running the ball. But if you're gonna run, give the ball to Raheem Mostert. That was just terrible in like all senses of the situation.
My thing is going against a rookie quarterback who was struggling to put up points in general. It's like, why not go up 2 possessions right there? Why run the ball 4th and 3, especially with Chase Edmonds, like you said? But the loss would have been on Mike for sure. If we lost this game, it would have been on Mike McDaniel 100%.
Chase Edmonds is allergic to playmaking. You can't.
Chase Edmonds makes me appreciate Myles Gaskin.
For real, bro. He makes you appreciate.
Sad but true.
Makes me appreciate Daniel Thomas.
Yeah, like
Oh god,
it's
Pittsburgh
terrible.
game in the snow.
It's just it was. I don't know, man. I really don't know like how it could have been this bad. My excuse, and maybe I'm crazy. I know we have Juan, Kendall, and Threat here that'll be able to either call me crazy or just maybe agree with me. Who knows? I do think that having the drops, having the issues with your quarterback not really doing, I guess great in terms of having the rust and coming back from the concussion, like. I think that a lot of it played into the play calling. Maybe I'm just wrong, and maybe it just was a bad game for Mike in general. But I think seeing how things were playing after those first 15, after those scripted plays, it just wasn't the same. And I think that could have affected something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I ain't gonna lie. I definitely agree with that, Kyle, because if you look late in that game, bro, I seen a situation where the Dolphins had the lead late in the game, and we still put the ball into his hands to cap the game off. Tonight, bro, we seen McDaniel call 2 runs back-to-back late in the game to ice the game, and then the play action pass on 3rd down, which fell horribly short. He didn't put the ball into his hands to succeed tonight, bro, and I just didn't think the confidence into it was there at all, bro. I'm going to be so real with you. I don't think McDaniel was having faith in Tua at all tonight, bro. I just feel like it was one of those games where nobody was really feeling it, bro, honestly.
I'm gonna be real. I just think it's like such a clusterfuck of like so much is going on at the same time. Like for me, one, like we don't have a run game without Mostert. Like Mostert is the only one who can effectively run a zone. He's the only one who has no fear running a zone. And truth be told, Chase Edmonds is making us miss Jordan Howard, which I mean, that's just already saying in and of itself. We have no third wide receiver at all. Like Trent, it was the first time that he actually flashed this game. And it came at the expense of Tyreek, which really was getting like 7 catches and I think 70 yards. Like we got to feed Tyreek. And then also too, like it can't be at like just every and any instance possible. Like you have to pick your spots a little more wisely. I feel like there was multiple instances where it was just like, nope, get Tyreek, and it's like, bro, he's double covered, triple covered. Like, move out, go somewhere else, get out of the pocket. And speaking of out of the pocket, like our dude got a slide, bro. Like, I'm sorry, like, I love the fire, I love the spirit, but like, I'm not having you out here trying to go run over a linebacker, bro. Like that's Devin Bush, bro. Like what are we doing? Like it's like slide. Like you're not getting 2 more yards. It's not doing anything. And then really to me, it's like I just feel like the team in general is just like an anomaly. Like I think it's like we're like at our peak on offense. We're like second half of Baltimore. At our low, we're like literally like this game. Like we could just have our lapses of just nothing. Whereas the defense again could too also be the first half of Pittsburgh, where I thought the defense was playing like ass, to be honest, the first half, and then they cranked it up the second half. So to me, it's like we just have to find some type of consistency, and it's hard because we're sloppy, bro. We're a sloppy fucking team.
Yeah.
Like drops, fumbles, inopportune turnovers, penalties. And we just kind of have that lucky streak in us that we actually have the talent this time around to overcome it. Whereas last year it was just like we don't got it,
Mm-hmm.
Go, Alex. No, I know you have something to say.
I also think like Tua is just a rhythm quarterback. Like when he's in the zone and he's going, he'll go throw after throw after throw. As soon as it gets a little wonky, he'll like just put some bad ones in a row. And I don't know, like it'll continue until he throws a pick, and then he's like right back as soon as he throws a pick. And like people were joking on Twitter that he was trying to get post INT Tua tonight because he did throw some bad. Like the one to Tyreek was really bad. Tyreek cooked his man. You got to throw that at the pylon, and that's probably 6. And he underthrew that one badly. Like the one to Gesicki, he got held. The last one on 4th down was terrible, or on 3rd down was terrible. Like that's a throwaway. That's whatever, man. Like I don't know. I don't know if it was the practice thing. I'm kind of with you, Kai, on like the timing. I mean, Tyreek was running routes tonight like Bridgewater was playing quarterback, slowing down and to like he was
slow down on one that would have been 6. There was two.
Yeah.
There were 2 throws, and I'm sorry to cut you off there, but there's 2
good.
throws because I'm one to try to give some leverage, but also have to critique. That play to Waddle should have been 6. I mean, if he puts that ball where it needs to be, if the communication's there, if he hadn't been kind of sitting on the bench with a concussion for the last few weeks, that I think that's 6. But we've had a couple plays this year and even last year where he could have put it on the money and it should have been 6.
It reminded me of the Giants one.
Yes, yeah. And if Reek throws that ball, or if Reek keeps running and that ball, gets where it needs to get to, although I don't blame Tua too much on that one, then that's probably also 6. He's probably still running all the way into the painted field. It's just, I don't know. It was definitely off, but there was a lot of miscommunication from both the Dolphins, like from Tua and the wide receivers.
Tyreek was just running though as if like ball placement wasn't going to be there, hitting him in stride. Like there was a couple over the middle where I was like, run through that and you're going. But then, on the Waddle play, like Tua didn't hit him in stride. And I swear, man, I think somebody from our network tweeted it like every time, like Waddle always leaves the ground when he catches the ball. Always. Like as much as I want to see him,
I fucking hate it. I've seen it for the last 2 years. He hops and I can't tell anymore if he needs to or doesn't.
Like as much as I want him
Sorry,
to
that was for Juan.
No, you're good. As much as I want him to like, I want the ball in his hands in stride. Like I know he's got insane acceleration and a quick first step, so he can do that, hit the ground and start going again. But it just makes me think about what if we actually hit him in stride and he didn't leave the ground. I don't know if it's a him thing. I don't know if it's with Tua. I know he's a body catcher, so I know that might play a factor into it, but he leaves the ground every time. For Mike, bro, I don't really know. Ever since like that whole end of the first half thing, that was terrible. Like you got the ball with over a minute left and you cooked that whole possession without calling that timeout there. And that was like, to be honest with you, like that's not a hard timeout to call. Like that was a pretty easy one, I thought. Like, I don't know. He'll learn from it. I think he'll get better as the season goes on. Like I think the 3-0 start kind of like everybody's expectations, including myself, were just like through the roof. Like this is him coming back down to earth a little bit struggling. Defense bailed him out today. Hopefully the offense gets them back. Like now the offense owes the defense one. Like
Alex, I want to ask you something real quick because you said about the timeout thing, like the managing the clock at the end. Do you feel like that's more me personally? I put that more on Tua just because McDaniel has kind of shown us like that that's his guy. Like he's empowering him. Like you know what I'm saying. So I wonder if like in that situation he was like, all right, a 2-minute drill, like before the end of the half, I'm gonna let my quarterback cook. So
I will say this on the play that everyone was screaming on timeout, Tua went to hurry up really quick. So I don't know. You could be right. Like he could have called that. Like he could have been like, no, I see something. I want to get it going quickly. But and I don't know. Like it just took so long. And the other thing with McDaniel that's really concerning me, it's taken them a long time to get the play in. A long time. There have been times where they break the huddle at like 10 or something like that. And like Nando, you talked about the timeouts they're burning. I always say in the first half, it's happened like every game, especially since the Bengals game. Like, I don't know. I that's a problem. I don't know if he's taking too long to decide what play it is. I don't know if the plays are literally too long. I don't know what it is, but especially with all the motions that we have, like Tua has a clock in his head where he'll blow a timeout at 4 seconds because he knows we have too many motions to get the playoff. So I don't know. There was some weird things today. Today I thought Mike McDaniel got too cute and tried to beat the Steelers with players they didn't think we'd use. Like the whole Chase Edmonds show needs to stop. Like no more. Trent Sherfield, great player, but like get Waddle the ball more. I don't know. And go back
I
to
like the Trent Sherfield every now and then though. I think it's the same reason with the force feeding, and we were talking about it with Tyreek. Like the force feeding of the ball, forcing it. It is that good change of pace to get another guy the ball every now and then. I feel like Trent Sherfield has shown that he's capable of getting that ball. I mean, that big time throw by Tua, big time catch by Trent Sherfield at the start of that drive. And
3. Like 3 targets, 3 catches. Like
he's shown that it's good for that. Now Chase, I want to get your take on it, Jay, just because you have been quite a little bit. With Chase, like, do you go out there and do you trade for a running back like Cam Akers? Now, look, the talk has been about how he's a bad scheme fit in that offense. Considering the similarities to our offense and the coaching tree and all that, I find it hilarious to think that he would be a better fit here. But I mean, what do you do at the running back to get that second guy? Because you can't keep Mostert in there 24/7.
It's such a tough situation, to be honest. And I'll say it here. I kind of in the offseason really backed Chase Edmonds. I thought he was actually perfect. I thought there was a reason he was the only guy to get a second-year contract. I think Mike McDaniel, obviously playing him a lot as an Arizona Cardinal, as he was on the 49ers in the same division, like clearly Mike McDaniel saw something and was like, I want this guy. I think he's being undervalued, et cetera, because again, the only guy to get a second year on the contract, and he paid him a decent amount of money to come here. So you think he'd have a big part of this offense. And a big part of his game is pass blocking, being a pass catcher. And I'll be honest, that just hasn't been the same here. I don't know what's happened. He's dropped so many catches in so many big spots too. Like the touchdown against Cincinnati and here like that's a first down if he catches that ball. That's a first down. And that look, those are drive killers. So it's so tough for me because I was a guy who really backed Chase Edmonds to maybe be that number one guy, just because I thought they won't use Raheem Mostert as much as they have because of his injury history. So I think, okay, you have two guys, use Chase Edmonds a little bit more. Clearly they saw something. Maybe he can learn the system and go crazy within it. Clearly that hasn't happened. Like, obviously that has not happened. He's been awful. And it's probably one of my worst takes of the offseason because I genuinely had high hopes for him. And now I can clearly say, like, obviously that's wrong. And Raheem Mostert's the guy. And for the second running back, to be honest, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you get Myles Gaskin or Salvon Ahmed involved a little bit more. I don't know if that's the way to go. To be honest, right now, all you can do is just keep feeding Raheem. That's the only thing you can really do. And making a trade is so interesting because there are so many different guys available, not just Cam Akers. And while that does make sense just because of the similar scheme, I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation to be in. And I'll be honest, if we're making a trade, that's not the position I'm looking at because our secondary is beat up and Chris Greer needs to get on the fucking phone and make a phone call because I know he played okay today. I don't need to see Clayton Fedulum on the fucking field, man. I don't need to see that.
But who do you get then? Because look, you're putting Clayton Fedulum there.
William Jackson, Bryce Hall, any of those guys. But
can William Jackson play safety? That's what if you're talking about Clayton Fedulum, you're talking about someone that's playing.
No, I'm just using that as an example as defensive backs because I also am not in love with Justin Bethel or Noah Benogany, who played.
Why do we need cornerbacks? We just had Noah.
Sorry, for Justin Bethel, not for Noah.
Like we're set at cornerback for the next decade. Please have.
Who's playing the slot? Does anybody know?
Fucking nobody right now. That's supposed to be where Nick's playing. I believe Justin Bethel technically, but he was on the sideline a little bit.
Well, they had Javon Holland playing there a little bit too because they slid him down, and then they had Clayton go back and play free safety. So I don't know. It's kind of a revolving door at that position.
And that's not. This is even leaving out Brandon Jones being hurt, which is
probably out for the year most likely.
That looks bad.
Our secondary is shot.
Yeah,
true. Like so many guys out, man. So many guys out.
Jay, you were talking about a running back trade. I'd call Green Bay and do Cedric Wilson a pick for AJ Dillon.
Ain't no way they're giving up AJ.
They love AJ Dillon more than they love even fucking.
They love him more than they love Aaron Jones.
They gotta pay him. Are they gonna want to do that? I don't know.
Like, I think they have still a year or two on his contract, though.
I don't know what we do this year, but in the offseason, draft Jahmyr Gibbs, draft Bijan Robinson, or trade for or sign. Sorry, not trade. Sign Josh Jacobs. He's been running well. Reuniting with Tua. I don't know. We need a running back.
Would y'all trade for Kareem Hunt? That's what I think. Like, I don't know.
That's what I would like.
I would trade for Kareem Hunt.
The thing that's
10
AJ
times
Dillon
out of 10.
It's Kareem Hunt all over again to me. Like, it's the same thing. Like
they don't
those teams love
those
teams love two running backs, and they're gonna live and die by it. Especially
and a guy like Kareem Hunt as a change of pace back is
like.
I would love.
They used him a lot today. They were using him quite a bit the first few weeks. These past 3 weeks, they hadn't been using him at all.
Let's get a B2 out here.
Yeah. To swing it to you, Nando, just as
running back.
A question about about the win aspect of it, and then we'll kind of get into what the future could look like here in the next few weeks. Another stat per the communications person Brett for the Dolphins. They're now 20-9 all time on Sunday Night Football. It's the first Sunday Night Football win since December 26, 2004 against Cleveland. And they are now 4-1 in primetime games since 2020. It's the best 5-game stretch on primetime since 2002, December 9th, 2003, December 15th. So for all we talk about primetime football, they're 4-1 since 2020, according to the communications person for the Miami Dolphins. So how do you feel about just getting the win itself? What do you think this means for the Dolphins going forward with a pretty easy schedule these next 4 games?
I mean, the win feels good. Obviously, it wasn't the way we wanted to see this win, especially the way it started off. I mean, you would have thought we were going to, just smack these dudes around, like I said earlier, but Hey, a win is a win at the end of the day. It's the NFL. They're hard to get by. You got to take them when you can get them, especially if after you drop 3 in a row. I mean, if you had this team going to 3-4, I mean, shit, that would have been tough. 4-game losing streak. That would have been probably the loss of the year, I think. Honestly, it would have been tough to do this stream tonight. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. Like if we drop 4 in a row,
It would have been the worst loss of the 4 as
there,
well.
all right, so I'm not
Absolutely the worst.
all right, so I'm not going crazy then. So you guys are with me on that. And it's just listen, no shout out to Noah and Juan. I mean, they get the most props out of today. But I'll take the win. I love the fact that we won. Obviously, it wasn't pretty. I wish a lot of things went differently. I wish I saw a lot more to be hopeful for these games going forward. Because yeah, we do have an easy schedule. The Lions have not looked that good, but they are nonetheless they are a tough ass team. And if we're not ready, shout out
like a proud dad,
yeah,
bro.
shout out to Juan, man. Shout out to Juan and Noah. But yeah, I wanted to see more things going into this Detroit Lions game, man, because listen, Detroit obviously has not been winning games, but they are a tough ass team. And if we're not ready and we're out there playing like that, Detroit could run up on us. So I would have liked to see more, but hey, a win is a win in the NFL. So I'll take it. 4-3 is way better than 3-4. And you had to snap that losing streak going forward.
Yeah, just for reference, really quick before I throw it over to you, Threat, just because I haven't heard from you in a little bit either. Mike McDaniels is up at the podium, and he was asked about that 4th and 3 play call. He said, "quote I felt pretty good about it working out. I did. It didn't. I take full responsibility for it." On the win,
Shit,
how do
who
you
else
feel?
is?
I don't
I mean,
care about responsibility.
it could be.
I knew who
Look,
the fuck was gonna get it. Like, what the hell?
it
Like,
could
I need
be.
answers. I need fucking. What's the solution? I like no.
But
I
what
hate
is the
that.
solution? Like, look, we talk about trades, and I guess this is the perfect way to throw it to you, Threat. We talk about trades, and we talk about who can we go get at corner, at at running back, at any position. But this isn't the NBA. It's not like players are getting traded at the trade deadline. There's not these big, huge trades in the offseason. We've seen it, but not multiple. There's not really going to be a player that's going to get traded and can just adjust that quickly in multiple games. I mean, it's the NFL season. You get one game
Not
in
with that
17.
attitude, Kai. Not
It's
with that
just
fucking attitude.
who do you
It's not gonna
trade for?
happen.
And like Alex, if you want to step in before it gets a threat, just like who can you possibly trade for that it'll make sense?
I got to do it every stream, but I wonder if there was a guy out there who plays corner now, used to play safety. I think he's on the Dolphins. I think he was a captain last year. What's his name? Oh, Byron Jones. Byron Jones.
That guy's collecting unemployment while still working, so he's good. Like,
Will Fuller
Hopefully he
V2.
enters the 21
What's happening?
day period
Captain?
soon.
Leader?
I think Byron had Affleck health insurance, and we were having like the Ducks come in and like replace him, and this is like what we're dealing with. Because at this point, like he's. By the way, this is an Achilles. Like when he comes back, I don't see him being the same for a while. So like this whole notion
Soft
of when
tissue
Byron comes
injuries
back,
can
we're
happen
good.
very commonly.
I don't see it. I think we're fucked, and I think it's either we, pray that Noah's actually turned the corner, or
He has
we're
one.
fucked.
Speaking into existence. This is his first career interception, isn't it?
All
As a
he has to
game
do is
stealing
turn
one.
around for the ball. That's all he has to do.
Absolutely is. He's a former wide receiver, but my goodness, that catch was even tough in and of itself, bro. Holy, like.
Anyways,
my heart
They had
was
the audacity
pounding.
to say it was out of bounds at first.
I couldn't believe that they said that. Threat, anybody that you're looking at besides, I guess, the Cam Akers and the William Jackson that might want out. I think it's easy to probably say Roquan, but you're going to have to throw everything at them to get Roquan off of their hands.
I know a lot of people are really harping on secondary depth, and although we do need it, we could probably find that with a pickup. But bro, we need pass rushing. I don't know what's going on with this defensive line, bro. Today we had 2 sacks, I believe, on 44 dropbacks from Kenny Pickett. Bro, I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, I don't know a great pass rusher that you can find this late. The way some of those teams that made a run last year was able to. I think one guy that's available, but he played for the Dolphins, and I doubt he'll want to come back, is probably Robert Quinn. I just don't know, bro. This
legit
defensive
looking at his
line
contract right now, because that's who it
This
popped up.
Bro, that's the only name I could think about to help this defensive line out, bro, because it's not giving what it's supposed to give right now, bro. But we're asking that the secondary looks so bad is because we're asking them to cover for so long. Kendall brought up a point to me while we were watching the game, bro. There was one play where Noah had to guard a guy for a very long time, and he ended up getting beat, bro. Like, we need to help our corners. If we know a cornerback our corners are a weak spot, bro, help them out, bro. We got to get to the we got to get to the quarterback. Pass rushing is an issue, bro. It is.
I got a guy for running back that, I mean, we can throw him Edmonds and probably like a 5th round pick. I would try to get Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, but he's on IR right now.
I was gonna say he's hurt.
That's the only issue is that he's hurt, and I don't know
mean,
how much.
He's still more productive on IR than.
Oh shit!
I mean, I tried looking at guys who are on the last year of their deal because you can get maybe a little bit of a better deal, especially for some teams that are going to need to gather those picks. Most of the guys that you look at that could be productive, half of them play for contenders, and the other is like a Matt Ioannidis for Carolina or Akeem Hicks, or really nobody else that stands out that you can go out there and get from a team that doesn't need it.
You think we can get Grady Jarrett?
The price is going to have to be right, and he's not on an expiring deal, so I'm sure that it's just everything has to be at the right price. And will they trade him? I mean, they did trade Deion Jones, so I guess anything is possible. It's just has to be at the right price.
I would grossly overpay for Chubb or Burns. Like, I know that Carolina's saying they wouldn't do it, but like I would, like, unless they have an offer they wouldn't refuse. Like, I would give them an offer.
We sorely missed Ogba tonight. Sorely.
I mean, I guess
be honest.
He hasn't done anything all year either, really.
No, for sure, of course, but still, I just felt
like if they were like, "Yo, we need 2 firsts and more picks for Brian Burns," like I'm seriously considering it, bro.
No, but we can kiss that away thanks to Stephen Ross. I think that might have been in consideration with 2 first-round picks this year, but now that we don't, that's out the window.
Depends how high. If the Niners
I'm gonna be honest with you. Get rid of this San Francisco pick, bro. It's not gonna be worth. It's not gonna be worth shit, bro.
It's at 12.
Even though they got flooded today, bro, they look good for a large portion of that game. Especially early
until Jimmy started to throw the game away.
Bro,
until once CMC gets a hold of the playbook properly and he gets in for a little bit more of those snaps, bro, they're gonna be a little deadly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Get the fuck
that
rid
pick's
of that
gonna
pick
be
ASAP.
that pick's gonna be 29th or later.
Mm-hmm.
CMC looked good today. He was at like first half of the game. He was like having like 11 yards per touch. I was like, bro, this flew in 2 days ago.
And now that CMC's there, George Kittle is back. Like,
and also Chris Greer can't draft at the end of the first round. Like, he's not good at
it. He drafted Noah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hey.
I know. I'm going to be the one person, bro. That dude was getting cooked until the last play of the game.
I wouldn't say he was getting cooked. He was getting picked on a lot.
He was
battling
right at him. Adversity.
Look,
right at him. Checking down or throwing it Noah. Like, that was the 2 options in his head. Check down or throw it Noah. Like, that's what he did.
Yeah, Threat pointed that out, that Pickett was only looking right.
And look, he did the same thing at the end, and he battled through it, bro.
True.
That's what real cornerbacks do. They don't think about the last play; they think about the next play.
Yeah, I ain't killing that man for giving up 8 yards, bro. At the end of the day, that's our defense.
Yeah.
So he was literally playing our defense.
Don't break. Ben, don't.
Yeah, you feel me? So like, I can't kill him. Like, he gave up the 30-yarder where he played. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but he
Austin Jackson hasn't looked that bad, Royal.
Speaking of this, why didn't he play this week? I thought they were saying he was close.
Said he had a good week of practice, but just not ready yet.
We trashed Flores for his lack of clarity with injuries, but I remember fucking McDaniel telling me Byron was going to be good for week 1. So
why the fuck didn't we put him on the PUP? I mean, on the IR, bro. Like, crazy.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Byron, just because I don't know, man. Look, Noah just got an interception. The ticker reads that he's inducted to the Hall of Fame at 23 years old, so that's really all that matters. Nando, going forward, just to see what's happening in the next few games, the Dolphins have actually, just to quickly answer Kendall's question, just because I don't want to get away from it. Grady Jarrett has 2 years left on his existing deal with an out in 2024, basically, is what it would be. So if you would trade for him, that's kind of what the deal would be. So unless I was Threat, it was either you or Threat. I can't remember who
It was
brought it
me.
up, but
I'm
all
a
right,
2 and a
perfect.
4.
So you get him for something. Nando, looking forward to the next few games. The Dolphins have a good opportunity to try and run the table here and get away from those 3 losses. How do you feel about the upcoming opponent? I know we'll talk about it on Wednesday. Not me, because I'll be at work, but I know everyone else will talk about it on Wednesday. But how do you feel going into the Lions game? Amon-Ra St. Brown out with a concussion today, so who knows if he'll be back. But if the NFL protocol for Kenny Pickett is as it is for him, maybe we won't get the Tua treatment on that. How do you feel going forward?
Based on what I saw today, I mean, I would be a little bit concerned just because the Lions are a gritty team. They do fight hard, and that's whether they have Sam Brown out there or not. But that is a big factor. If he does play out, I'm a little bit more worried. This game is also on the road, and no wins are easy in the NFL, so you got to be prepared. But something's got to give, man. I think this offense and this entire Dolphins team are going to clean some things up over the week. I think they're going to look at a lot of film. And it's just, there's no way that we're about to see the same type of offense play like this yet again. I mean, I find that really hard to believe. I think McDaniel's just going to be I think Tua's going to play better. And I think things are going to start to flow just like they were the first 3 weeks of the season. So a little bit concerned. You have to be, especially on the road against a tough, gritty team. But this team is way too talented on paper to not improve following what we saw today. So right now, I mean, I think we should win it. And as well as the next couple games, you got to take advantage of those easy games in the schedule. And not that they're so easy, but you are better than those teams and you have to take advantage of them, because that stretch when we go on the road, that's coming up shortly when we're taking on the Chargers and the Niners and all those teams. So get those wins while you can.
I'm not concerned about the Chargers. Justin Herbert doesn't win football games.
He's looked like shit.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, but that defense
been real bad for my fantasy team.
I don't know. I ain't sleeping on the Chargers though.
I don't think I would sleep on any team. I just wanted to ask a quick hitter there, just because I've heard Nando quite a little bit, but I want to ask one last thing. Alex brought it up, and I think it's a great point to bring up, especially since my name has been Tua versus Flo since last Sunday night. I don't care what anybody says. A win is a win. I'm a Brian Flores guy, as are the person above me and below me. However, a win is a win. B-Flow has to go home with a loss, and I think it's a great feeling for that. How do you feel, Threat, about just kind of, I guess, the media surrounding Brian Flores coming back after everything that's happened, et cetera, et cetera. Now that, I guess, they asked Tua in the press conference, has he spoken to him? He said no. Flo was in the box the whole game. Like, how do you feel about how it's been kind of the whole week?
I'm definitely, like you already said, I'm definitely a B-Flow guy. I definitely respect him and what he did and how he turned this franchise around a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm a Dolphin fan first. Before anything, I put up a tweet and I put B-Flow right in the pack. I put him right in the pack and he could get his ass smoked. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. At the end of the day, I'm faithful to the Dolphins. I'm not faithful to Brian Flores. I'm not picking up and going with the Steelers. So at the end of the day, it was a lot of hoopla and a lot of noise surrounding it. I didn't really care about it, but right now I'm on a high, so I had to put him in the pack. But honestly, I'm glad that we're enough of the Brian Flores talk, because I feel like we go back to this every single time, with every single weekend with this franchise. I mean, with this fan base. Like we always bring up Brian Flores. Like, he's gone, bro. It's time to move on. Everybody wants to keep going back to their ex. Fuck that. We're looking past him now. So I'm glad this week is finally over with. I'm on to the next week. Hopefully the Brian Flores talk can finally calm down a little bit.
I had to ask. And lastly, just in regards to another former Dolphin who was playing for the coach who traded his ass to the team that both of them are on, Minkah Little Bitch Fitzpatrick. How do you feel about him? He was talking a lot of shit during the game. Probably should have had a pick or two, honestly. There should have been 4 picks in this game on 2, regardless, so it doesn't even matter. How do you feel about Minkah regarding everything that happened here with the Dolphins after he was traded, and just, I guess, the fact that the Dolphins beat Minkah Fitzpatrick?
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I don't got nothing with Minka. Like, that boy was here. That boy asked for a trade because he didn't know what it felt like to lose, man. That nigga came from Alabama, bro. He wanted to get the fuck up out of here because he wasn't trying to be a part of no losing organization. But fuck him. You know what I'm saying? He on that side. He on this side. Like, fuck him.
It's on smoke.
What that was?
I said it's smoke for Minka, man. Smoke.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
Minka.
I don't got no
Smoke.
smoke for him, but he do his thing, but you know, he be getting beat, you know what I'm saying?
Javon's better anyway. All good.
He tough, but I don't give a fuck about that boy. Like, fuck him. Like, we got Holland at the end of the day.
Co-sign.
And I mean, he make more splash plays than Holland, but Holland don't get beat. So
hey, Javon Holland got a game-saving interception.
No, hey, watch your mouth, my brother. Noah Iga Benogany got
no. But before that,
nah, Playboy, don't do that.
Javon had a game-saving interception too. That was game-saving.
No, the game saving is when the game was over. That saved the game.
It's possible that they were both game-saving interceptions.
No. Only one was.
No, there's only one game saving.
Yeah,
like, there's only one game winning.
There's no such thing as 2 game winners in the NBA. Like, you feel me? Like,
I'm saying at that point in the game, it was game saving because.
But at the end of the game, Noah's was the game.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I'm just saying at that point in the game, with that's all I'm saying. Fuck Minka. That's all I gotta say. Fuck that.
I think that encapsulated perfectly. Alex, Nando, any last things you guys have to say about the Dolphins? My hands are off the keys. Just going a general thing. It's 12 a.m. I'm trying to go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, I'm just happy we got the win, man. That's it, man. Happy we're back in the win column.
Yo, Jason Sanders didn't miss a kick today.
Yeah, because it wasn't past 50 yards. This guy, though.